Hello, viewers. Hope you're doing well. Those who are new to my video, I am making this video to help you prepare for Manitoba Class 5 driver's license knowledge test. You have to study this handbook. There will be 30 multiple choice questions that you have to get 23 of them correct to pass in the exam. I will I will create this video to help those whose English is second language, or they are new to Canada and not familiar with the Canadian driving system. So this is the today we will discuss the graduate driver's licensing system. Uh, in Manitoba, if you want to become a driver, you have to go through a process. First, you have to pass the knowledge test, and so basically that's what the video for. Once you are successful in the knowledge test, then you drive with a supervising driver for 9 months, and then you can sit for road test. Then if you successfully pass the road test, you progress to 5I. That means class 5 intermediate license. There are restrictions. You can drive all the time except midnight to class 5 a.m. You can have only one passenger on the front passenger seat. This is mainly to be done. Many young drivers, they like to drink and drive, so that in the intermediate stage, the government wants to make sure that you are driving while not drinking alcohol. Anyway, so you be on that stage for 15 months. 15 months, then then you become a class 5 full license. Basically, then you can drive any time of the day without any restriction. Although you cannot supervise someone unless you are in that stage for at least 3 years. So let's look at what the book says about the restriction. These are more details. In more detail, so in class 5 learner's license, so once you pass the knowledge test and then you get this class 5 learner's license, in that stage you have to have a minimum age of 16 years old. You pass the knowledge test. You cannot drink and drive. That's what BSE means: blood alcohol content. Zero blood alcohol content. That means there cannot be any content in your blood. That's what zero blood alcohol content means. Only supervising driver as front seat passenger. So you can't just have a another driver on the front passenger seat. You have to have a supervising driver. That means someone who holds a class 5 full license for 3 years. They are qualified to supervise you drive. So anytime you are driving, whether it's in the parking lot or on the side road or in a private property, if you are driving, you must have a supervising driver on the front passenger seat on your right side. Supervising driver must be fully licensed for at least 3 years, like I mentioned. Many may carry passenger up to number of functioning seatbelt in the rear of the vehicle. So if your kids are in the back seat, that's fine as long as they are buckled up. If most cars have 3 seat belts in the in the rear seat, so you can have up to that amount of passengers in the back seat. No towing permitted. So towing means, some people carry a trailer. So if you have a if you are driving a truck, this is let's assume this is a truck, and you are pulling this has 2 wheels, 2 on each side, and then you are pulling a trailer at the back. This is not permitted in this license. Okay, so this is a trailer. Some people have trailers in the back. So this is not permitted when you are 5 learners. You cannot tow. even with the supervising driver. This is not permitted in the license in the 5L, because you're learning to drive, how to drive a vehicle, never mind pulling a trailer. So that's a restriction. You may not operate a class 3 motor vehicle registered as a farm truck. So even if that vehicle is registered as a farm truck, those farm equipment, big husbandry, or people do farming, the agricultural equipment, those ones require although they require class 3, uh, some can drive with a class 5, but only when you get to class 5 full. Not in this stage, you cannot drive one of those vehicles with 5L. Okay, if you have a supervising driver, then you can operate those. So you cannot pull a trailer, but if you are operating a farming equipment instead of a tow, if this is actually a farming equipment, then you can operate that. So that vehicle, let's say this is hauling a farming equipment at the back, and if you have a supervising driver beside you, it's fine to pull a farm equipment. So that's what it means, farm equipment. Then you get to the class 5. Once you in that stage, you have to be at least 9 months, and after that you go to MPI and pay for your road test and sit on the road test. If you pass the road test, then you get to class 5I. Basically, with that, you can drive without a supervising driver, but from midnight to 5 a.m. you cannot drive with passengers in the back without a supervising driver. So that part is a little complex. So you can still drive with one passenger. Let's say you and your girlfriend going somewhere at 1 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. But if you and your girlfriend and 2 other friends are in the back seat, then then you need a supervising driver beside you who has to have a class 5 license. You be in that stage for 15 months, no drinking and driving. In this stage, you can operate a farm vehicle or any off-road vehicles across the highway. So off-road vehicles are those, they are called quad. I don't know if you have noticed some of the motorcycles, they don't have plate, or they look kind of like they have 4 wheels. So those are called off-road vehicles. You can operate those in the highway. If you're driving those on the highway, then it's fine. But you must have this class 5I. And then class 5 full means like now you don't have any restriction other than if you want to supervise someone to drive, then you have to be in that stage for 36 months. So I hope that's a summary of the class 5, and that mainly covers what you may expect in the exam. So main thing in this episode is that no towing permitted with the class 5L. And class 5I, you have to be in 15 months. To become a supervising driver, you must have class 5 full for 3 years. I hope this video will help to prepare you for the class 5 knowledge test and also to become a driver in the Manitoba roads. Have a safe driving. Thank you.